piss. Keep it simple, stupid.
I promise you, this is not a political podcast.
Jump from the deep end of the pool, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. Paranoid radio, set up the mood. 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 Set up the mood.
That is right. Ooh, testicles 1, 2, testicles. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranoid Radio Podcast. I am Trebles Garcia, the humble host of this adventure. I want to thank the Lord for allowing me to be here today, and I want to thank every single one of you for allowing me to enter your space. I also want to remind you to check us out at paranoidradio.com, paranoidradio.com. Cough up some of the t-shirts. We just got an uplift, not only on the website, but also with the badass new intro music. If you guys are digging it, make sure you drop a comment or check us out on Instagram. But, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to strike while the iron is hot, jump from the deep end of the pool, and set the mood. Do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Please give a warm welcome to Oregon-Ite, Isaac from Oregon-Ite. He's been here before. He blew it up, and he gifted me this beautiful little piece, which I still hold dearly next to my computer and to my microphone. It really does give me creative juices. So, yo, welcome back, dude. How you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for having me. Excited for this.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you too, bro. Last time you came on, you blew it out of the water with the Oregon-Ite technology, spiritual conversation that you had for me. And that went well on a live, but I think it could go a lot better when we record. And that way I could edit out all the ums and all the bad words, which is going to be a lot because I'm a cursor. But I want to give the opportunity to you to plug in your stuff, your website, your business. What's going on with you, bro?
Yeah, I make these custom pyramids and any other device you want. If you don't like pyramids, I make crosses, I make mushrooms, I make anything that you could think of. I even got this little hummingbird right here. If you want an Oregon-Ite hummingbird, you can message me. But there's millions of different things I do, but my basis is in the technology of orgone energy. And so what it's doing is a epoxy slash resin or epoxy slash metal matrix with a quartz crystal inside of it as well. And it's constantly transmuting the energies of everything around it. My website is www.oregon, the state, so OREGON -ite.com. And if you want to find me on Instagram, it's just oregon.ite. And so, yeah, I've been pretty passionate about this, been working on it for about the last year or so, and just keep on learning and keep on growing. So I'm excited for whatever we end up talking about today.
And as he was plugging in his stuff, make sure you check him out at Oregon-Ite, right?
Yeah.
.com. And he has a lot of different stuff there. He could also give you custom pieces. Make sure you check him out. He loves the interaction with you guys. And I am posting stuff on Instagram as we're talking because I love to promote the show. That is right. Now, all right, bro. You're here to talk some shit. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I love this. Just let me blur it out. This is not a political podcast. However, I've managed to become a Trumper the last 4 years, pretty strictly dickly becoming a Trumper, and now more than ever. And but I also keep the idea of him being the Antichrist well alive, because even the Bible says, "Don't trust he who trusts another man is a condemned man," something like that. And I'm not gonna correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Hashtag look it up and open up the Bible, guys. It's very spiritual. If you guys, I'm not speaking from a religious standpoint, but if you like conspiracy theories, conspiracy stories, the Bible has a lot of conspiracy stories. It has sex, It has murder, it has betrayal, it has spies, it has empires, it has war, murder, homicide, suicide. That's a lot of stuff, guys. Make sure you check out the Bible. Hashtag the Bible.
Bible.com.
Bible.com. Yo, you have some information you want to drop. Now, I love speaking about this stuff. I love amplifying your message. Obviously, if I don't agree, we don't have to fight. You're my brother, if anything, before anything, dog. So, but I really want to pick your brain. What's going on, bro? What are you gonna say?
So I don't want to be divisive at all. I don't want to start spreading hate or anything like that, but I like to point out things where people maybe have false integrity. And my biggest thing is integrity. And one thing that's really been concerning me recently is after this assassination attempt on Donald Trump, there have been a lot of people in the Christian communities who have been calling him the second savior and like a bunch of different things that are like not biblically founded and also are kind of not paying attention to a lot of the things in his past and a lot of the things that have happened in general in politics. And I personally have to say that if I had the ability to vote for Trump back in 2016 and 2020, which I missed the year cutoff mark by like 3 months for the 2020 election, but
Mhm.
I would have. However, looking back on his policies and the way that he didn't do specific things he either said he was going to do, like draining the swamp, he sealed the JFK files. He did a lot of things that I personally don't agree with. But one of
Mhm.
the biggest things that I'm concerned about is the connections that he had with Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm not
Mhm.
going to go out and say for certain that Donald Trump is a pedophile. I think that, I
Mhm.
mean, if anybody's connected to Jeffrey Epstein, that's definitely something that should be questioned.
Uh-huh.
However, the most important part is the integrity part. And
Mhm.
even if you don't necessarily agree with or pay attention to the all of the acts in that, if you are
Mhm.
connected to that man, you most likely are not able to make the decisions that you want to make. You are under a certain level of control by certain powers to be that have information on you. And
Mhm.
I don't necessarily trust anybody who's able to be manipulated like that.
Yeah.
So my one concern is that Donald Trump has certain skeletons in his closet that are really affecting the way that he makes decisions. And I don't know if anybody heard the phone call that was leaked between RFK and Donald Trump. But in that
Mhm.
phone call, he himself was pretty anti-vaccination, and he was really saying a lot of stuff that he wouldn't publicly say. And
Mhm.
that kind of led me to the idea of like it seems like he's kind of acting two-sided, and I personally thought that was the case in
Mhm.
his like the 2016 rallies and the campaigns compared to actually the 4 years he had in office, because I already said the first couple things like the JFK files and certain parts about different policies that he chose to enact or not to enact, or he didn't end up
Mhm.
draining the swamp that he claimed he was going to drain. But like even things such as his vice president pick, I
Mhm.
don't necessarily trust everything that Vance is connected with. He's connected with a lot of large corporate entities and different people in certain parties, or not part like political parties, but in like
Mhm.
company parties that you don't necessarily want to have making different controls or lobbying certain things in our political system.
Mhm.
And also, one of the things is that Donald Trump, this could just be a rumor, but I've seen it a lot of places that he's considering Larry Fink as one of his, I think it's the secretary treasurer, which Larry Fink is a
Oh
BlackRock
yeah.
employee.
That's
He's like
something
one of the
that's a
heads of
trippy one. Yeah.
BlackRock. And
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
really messing me up because, like, if you're draining the swamp, don't add more swamp creatures in there. Like, you don't put a chupacabra and an alligator in the swamp when you're trying to drain it.
Unless you
Like,
want to fight, see them fight and have a cryptic fight. That was awesome. A Big Tank and I did a cryptic fight versus the Wolfman and the Chupacabra. I think the Chupacabra wins. We went on a deep dive what their freaking talent powers will be according to lore and history. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But yeah, let me adjust this because my daughter's over here bitching and screaming.
oh, you're all good, man.
All right, check this out. Okay, so you said I'm a mouthful, and by all means, I am not here to debate, and I'm not here to defend Donald Trump either. However, let me. Okay. However, we are truth seekers.
Yeah.
Having said that, you mentioned before we go on to Vance, you said the Epstein thing. Now, if I miss a point, please jump in. Okay. I
Okay.
do. I did hear. Oh, one more moment.
No worries, man. Everyone, Oregonite.com or OREGON-ITE.com. Check it out or don't. You totally don't have to. No biggie. Love all y'all. Appreciate every single person that listens to this. Also, if you are a Trump supporter, Trump fan, don't don't take anything I say the wrong way. I'm just trying to help point out different things that could potentially be an issue. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So I didn't hear that because I had to take my. Yeah, thank you again for putting. That's what podcasters do, baby. That's what's up, yo. Okay, so the connection I knew that Donald Trump had was with Epstein. Was he was at one of the parties with Epstein? I think early '90s at Mar-a-Lago. And I guess Epstein hit on one of the waitresses that was there. That was a daughter of Donald Trump's neighbors, which she was underage. She was just there helping and for a job, I guess. She had a job at Donald Trump's house. And she had, if you could hear my baby in the background, I'm sorry, I can't shut her up. She's only 2 years old. She's gonna be all over the walls, and I'm babysitting today. So I'm doing a lot today, guys. All right, hold the fuck up. All right. So he hit on her. The girl told Donald Trump after the party was done, and then Donald Trump immediately reported him to the cops and then cut him off of all business deals. So I know that happened. I also
Okay.
found out that he was also on the plane log, but the plane log went from New York. He went from New York all the way to Mar-a-Lago, went to Miami. So it did not go to the island. And that was the only time that Donald Trump's name was on the list. Again, that's as far as I know. If you have any more information, please contact Oregon-Ite. I mean, Oregon-Ite, let them know, bro. What? Okay, first let's do that. Then the second thing. So that's a note that we have to come back to. Then they say the Vance situation. I don't know much about the guy. I'm not going to defend the guy. I just know that he's an ex-Marine. He's a patriot. He comes from the ghetto. It's like me coming up. If I come from the ghetto, this is on live now, guys. The baby has completely taken over the screaming match here between her and I. She's winning. I do apologize. This is so unprofessional. Normally I have a babysitter for her, but running tight.
Oh, just for your information, we can't hear it, by the way, so you're good.
Oh, okay, good. Condenser mics. That's what they do. So that I don't know. I only know that he's from the ghetto and that he made it out with very little money, and that's where it stops. I do not know. My question to you would be, what connections to what companies does he have that makes him question the stuff? And that'll be great. That's great research. That's not only for you, but that's also for the listeners, for the people, even for the people that are barely waking up, that are not sure who the fuck this guy is. If you have a doubt, by all means, don't take my word or Oregon-Ite's word for it. You got to put it on yourself and go to the search bar and spend 5 more seconds every day searching it, and not just go to TikTok University to get your information. That's just fact, bro. That's how we all do. And the third one would be, let's just go with those two because I forgot the last one. So the Epstein situation, if you know anything else, please address it.
No, you filled in some blanks that I didn't know. So I'll get on that. If that is the truth, then that kind of mutes out the point that I was making. However, me putting his decisions that he made compared to what he said, I was just making the connections like maybe he has control, because it's like even if he didn't have any direct connections with Epstein, like in the ways I wasn't implying it, but in the ways that I was maybe speculating, it still is concerning the different choices that he did make in office. However, the Vance situation, I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember the name of who was supporting him, but I listened to this amazing podcast from my boys Jonathan and Jacob from the Cult of Conspiracy. If you guys want to check it out.
Shout outs to Cult of Conspiracies.
They're great, and they put out a long, in-depth research podcast about Vance specifically, and that's where I'm getting my information from. So if you want to check it out, please go check that episode out. And I forget the names of the guy in the company, but here's the story of what happened. So JD Vance was he was, like you said, he was a nobody, and he was propelled into this company, and he was like built up like from nothing essentially. He was connected to the right people, he made the right decisions, and he went from nothing to a billionaire. And he's really closely connected to very specific people, I'm pretty sure in the tech industry, that are not necessarily pro everything we would say we'd be pro in this truth world
for what he represents.
Exactly. And so that's just the one thing I'm concerned about, because obviously Donald Trump would be aware of that if he would be choosing him as vice president. And I know that the intricacy of politics and the government and everything that goes on behind the scenes is much more complex than we're told. And so I just want to point out the potential money that is controlling the certain situations, and I want us all to be aware. I'm not telling you not to vote for Donald Trump. I'll go ahead, vote for Donald Trump if you want to. I mean, I got my guy Make Earth Great Again with RFK Jr., but a lot of people say that there is not a lot of chance that he could go into office. I personally believe that I'd rather vote out of hope and out of a moral conscious decision, because I can't personally disagree with any moral behavior that Robert Kennedy has. I have a lot of disagreements with a lot of Trump's things that he's done morally, and I don't think that he necessarily is spiritually as as spiritually dense as he says he is, there's a lot of people that have questioned his different, like, hey, what kind of Bible? What's your favorite Bible verse? And Trump's like, I don't have an answer for that. I mean, that could just be like he didn't want to give one, which is totally fine. But like, given his certain decisions, like I personally don't want to vote for somebody who had sex with a porn star, covered it up, paid it off in the company money, and that just doesn't sit right with me. And I mean, that's not the end
Absolutely.
of the world, but like
Hmm.
I don't stand for that
Or
morally,
the
so
first
I don't
president
want to
that's
put.
ever done it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no,
Hmm.
he's definitely
Yeah.
not. But I wouldn't support any of the other ones either. But
Yeah.
I personally would rather vote out of hope and out of conscience about saying I think that we can be better. And there's a lot of people that are fearing the what the left will do and what the left will enact. But here's the problem. We've been in the same pattern, stuck going back and forth from one side of the word, one wing of the bird to the other wing of the bird for the last 100 something years, as long as the Democrats and Republicans have been the two parties that have been in control. And we
Uh-huh.
aren't really seeing any change. And like there's really nothing that's going on. We're just getting worse and worse and worse. And you could say as like when the right takes over, there's going to be a lot of positive change for certain economic issues, and we're going to become stronger as a country and not let people push us around. This isn't necessarily untrue, but there's the people that are controlling everything are allowing this to happen over and over and over again. So we can't really put too much trust and faith in the right because I mean they're still a part of the same corrupt system.
I okay. So another. Let's address the swamp. I remember what you said about the swamp. Jesus didn't destroy Rome. When Paul would tell Jesus, "Let's take this shit over. Let's do it now. Let's go kill." Because Paul used to kill Christians, and then he turn over a new leaf, and then he would tell. Then Jesus would turn around and say, hey, relax, bro. You know, we're not here to revolt. We're not let. We have to go through the growing pains so that the mass of the majority of the public has a demand against the government. Same strategic for Trump. I'm not. Oh, wait. You said also something about Christians saying Trump is the savior. Fuck that. The only savior, King of Kings here, is Jesus Christ. That's it. And I've always said this on the show. He's not our savior. He's our bullhorn. That's all he is. He's a tool, like Darth Vader was for the Empire. All right, guys. Same. If anybody likes Star Wars, I'm a fucking Star Wars super freak. All right. So super freak. Now, you said, yeah, Vance. I'm not. I can't address that. I'm not. I would have to have Flash in here to come and conversate about that and give me more details on what he knows. But I also do know this. The reason I believe that he is not part of the system of the two birds with the same of the. I mean, two wings of the same bird would be because he didn't not only get shot. He has real ops. I think Joe Biden's biggest ops is a fucking staircase. One. Second of all, he dismantled the entire Republican Party. A lot of people and black pill chills would be like, "Yo, okay, when then why how come he didn't start his own fucking party? Because it's already established. It was a lot more important for him for the public to see what dismantling and draining the swamp would take and what the swamp was. Q even said that revealing who the swamp were and would make it easier for us to take over and really drain the swamp. He wasn't able to drain the swamp during COVID-19 because everybody was too fucking scared to live. Everybody was too scared to breathe. So it was a wrong timing for him to even really take over the White House the way he wanted to, or take over the world, whatever. If he really is a dictator, because that's on the table too. If he's a fucking dictator, it came out of his fucking mouth. I love Donald Trump because of the way he fucking expresses himself. He's very blunt and he says this shit. But I also understand that he's the only human being that we all create stupid shit. I've said stupid shit on the show before that I regret every single day. I said stupid shit that sounds racist against my own peoples on this show because I'm a product of immigration. I feel like I could speak very negative or highly about a certain type of people. I feel like I have that entitlement. So I feel entitled in different ways. He's also a very rich billionaire that rubbed elbows with many different people because he's a very rich billionaire. Who you're gonna rub elbows with people because unfortunately you and I have a message to put out, and the only way to put out this fucking message is using Zoom, which is owned by Jews, which is Instagram, which is owned by a fucking another pedophile that's been on the island. You see what I'm saying, right? We have to
Yeah.
use the tools that are handed to us in order to make a mature decision. Unfortunately, this is what we have. You know, it's the same thing about, oh yeah, I don't know, you probably know how to fucking grow carrots, but I don't. I'd rather go buy the fucking carrots at the store. It's the same thing. I'm using the store that I'm talking shit about, eating the carrots that I'm talking shit about, because it's all we have to eat. Same thing with Donald Trump and how he took over the Republican Party from the bottom up. And I think it took time for him, for people to see that warp speed, because he did warp speed. He did push out the vaccines, which is horrible, but he didn't mandate them. Do you know who mandated them? The Democrats. Biden's campaign did. So this is, I mean, and I don't want to make this into a political podcast or conversation, even more than it already is. But a lot of the things that you said right now are like very surface level knowledge for the people that are coming out early and have never voted. And when they see that, they're easily like, oh no. What people don't see is that it really takes, first of all, you need to have the passion for truth. You have to have some type of spiritual guidance and gut emotion to say, this is the right thing. I respect what you did right now. You shut up your hat and you turned it around. You said, I'm for Kennedy. I respect that. You know why? Because you're a young, educated man that's in touch with God. And you're a father, you're a provider, a professor, a protector, the three major P's in the Bible. And you're coming on, you're saying, this is what I believe in. You're stating it forth. And we're loving each other, respecting each other. Even though you have negative feelings about the person that I love or care for, you know, it doesn't make us different. We're not talking about what makes us different. We're talking about what makes us together with two Americans here that are passionate about our nation and to have better well-being in the future. Mm-hmm. That's what we're both interested in. That's the big portion of this, right? So having said that, I'll let you proceed. We have a couple more minutes. It's 5:30. I don't want to take, I know you have another episode, another podcast, and you're sweating bullets over there. But what else you have for me, bro? What else you want to get out of your chest that I could address? And maybe, you know, if I didn't give you the proper information, again, I'm not all knowing either. I also only know maybe level 2 knowledge of Donald Trump. And I just got into politics 4 years ago, bro. Like I'm not really into this. I only voted 3 times. Like I'm 33 years old today, bro. And I voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. I voted for Donald Trump in 2020. And I'm about to vote for Donald Trump again. So it's kind of like, I've only voted this 3 times. I'm not very well versed until now because of Flash and because of people like you. Anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, really, by the way, it's hot as balls in this room. It's like 90
I
degrees.
saw you. Sorry,
But,
bro. Sorry.
no, you're fine, man. I really am more a proponent of, like, I don't think that Trump is necessarily, like, the worst person in the world or a horrible person or anything like that. I think that he does have good intentions. I think that that's very evident. And I think he's a much better choice than like the other one that is there, the Kamala Harris, all that crap. It's not that that's not
cock,
yeah, anything, or even potentially Big Mike or whoever they end up putting in to replace her because she has no chance. However, the real thing is I am pro humanity. I am pro everybody. I think that the idea, I put a video on Instagram out about this, that the right and left political parties, all political parties, it's a fabrication. It's not real. Like, it's nothing that is truly like naturally inherent. And so we're putting up this fabrication of like, we have to fight between each other. There has to be literal like discourse and literal arguments between everybody in the nation all the time, and we need to realize that we the people are the people that matter. And it doesn't matter if you lean right or you lean left, or you're like me and you're really an anarchist at heart and you don't really want any of this political bullshit, but you still have to deal with it. The truth is that we need to understand that we need to come together as a nation. And we need to start being loving towards our neighbors. Love thy neighbor, even if he's a lefty, even if he's whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
You need to first lead by example, and you need to show love. Like, I'm not going to ever disagree or hate on anybody who's a Trump supporter or leftist leaning, whoever you want to support. It doesn't matter. Like, you're a person, you're a human. You're not trying to destroy us. That's all that matters. Like, if you have positive intentions and if you're really trying to do good for other people, that's what matters to me more than anything. And honestly, if Trump goes in office, I'm not concerned. If Kamala Harris and the left goes in office, I'm not too concerned either. Because the fact is that this is all a divinely ordained plan that God already has figured out beforehand, and all of this negative is going to be used for good in the future. Even if the left comes in office again, it doesn't matter because God has it all handled. It's all going to work out together for good in the end. So, yeah.
Yo, you fucking blew a gasket right there. And I think you only had about one left because of the heat. I think you win it. Right now. And you know what, bro? I had just good closing statements here. I had a conversation with one of our customers at my job, and he said, I didn't even know he was a Democrat, right? And he said, fuck, I hate that guy with all my guts. And I was like, okay. I don't want to engage in this conversation with you, but fuck it, I'm engaged with this conversation. I'm like, okay, let me try. Let me see where he's gonna go with this. He's an older gentleman too, and I have a lot of respect. My mom would backhand me immediately if I even looked awkwardly at an older gentleman or man, right? So I was like, let me just test this guy. Let me just go at him, right? And plus, I love talking to people. And I'm like, what's up, Mark? He's like, yo. I'm like, why do you hate him so much? And he was like, yeah, because there's balance. I'm like, so you're speaking out of an emotional, you're speaking out of your heart with hate. And then we got into a little conversation debate, right? And then I told him the same thing. At the end of the day, bro, we're two Americans that only want to see a brighter future for our families, for our kids, for your daughters, for my daughters, dog. Yeah. All right. And the only way to really coexist is to love each other and to make the best we can at our own household. You can't control federal government. You can't control the seas. You can't control the weather. Well, maybe the weather, because I'm a conspiracy theorist. So you could do that. I'll fucking rain dance in this bitch. I'll get some Oregon-Ites and just fucking manifesto. It's a manifesto party.
Yeah. That's what cloudbusters are for. Yeah, that you can actually do that. Also, there's like even Paris, they're controlling the weather right now, and they have technology and have admitted to it. But that's besides the point.
That's fact. Wait, whoa, what? Say that, DJ, fuck my life. Go back, bro. Go back. Wait, okay. The Olympics is a fucking shit show, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
What the fuck did you just say?
So, I said the cloud. So Wilhelm Reich, the inventor, but that's not what you're talking about, probably. The cloudbuster, he designed something that could increase the humidity in the air, make things rain again if it's like super dry. He made the Death Valley in Arizona rain for the first time in 50 years. But in Paris in the Olympics, they design weather modification technology in order to mess with the weather and make it so they can do whatever they want with it. And I'm pretty sure China also did this for their Olympic Games as well. And so they're literally now admitting to developing weather manipulation technology. And if you think that this weather manipulation technology is only being used for the Olympics, you're still asleep as shit. But
yeah, it's happened here. We have aluminum in our fucking trees. When I think I told you that the trees burn from the inside out when we have fires in California. And there's cloud seeding. That's not a fucking lie. There's chemtrails. Have you ever heard of HAARP? HAARP? They fucking they control the weather very fucking well, bro. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Okay, well, anyway, back to the main part. Yo, I told them that the only way to fucking survive is making a change in your household, controlling the people where your 2 feet lay.
Yeah.
And love yourself, your family, and your neighbor, and put God first in everything. That is the main focus on everything. If you want to really make changes and let things play out, put it in God's hands. You know, and he stopped his rhetoric and he just walked away pissed off. He said, yeah, you guys. 2 hours later, he showed up. I'm like, Mark, you still love me, bro? You hate me because I'm a fucking Trumper. He was like, no, man, you're a cool guy. I'm like, oh, I'm going to tell you something now, bro. Trump is the closest thing to Jesus Christ, 2024. I say that as blasphemy. I say that just to fuck around, to really like get people going, you know. And he's like, "Oh fuck, dude, you again." He gets into it, dude. But like, you know, I'm just teasing him at this point. But yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the closest thing to Jesus Christ. I think, you know, he's just another man. And if he is a puppet, well, God forgive him. You know, God put him in His grace. And all we could do is love each other, bro. Hey, dude, I want to thank you again. Give you the opportunity to plug your stuff, man. You fucking blew it up, bro. You say some shit. You got a mouth on you, bro.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I do, unfortunately. This Oregon-Ite.com, if you want to check it out, check it out. If you don't want to check it out, no biggie, don't. And if you were upset about anything I said, all I'm trying to do is raise awareness and try and give people a perspective that they may not have looked at yet. And so even if I'm wrong, like there's a good chance that I could be wrong about things. It's really the most important thing is coming together and loving one another, even if you don't agree with them politically or any different way. It does not matter. You have to show love, and as soon as we put down our weapons, I'll also shout out my podcast Carversations on Spotify. One of my episodes that I released was it's called you enlisted in a spiritual war. Your weapon is your tongue, and your ammunition is love. Hopefully, and so your weapon is always your tongue. You fight with your mouth, and load that ammunition with ammo of love. You can choose to live with love, hatred, resentment. You can change the tone of any way that you speak. And the more that you speak to people with love and with forgiveness and acceptance, no matter what way they lean, that's the way you'll change the hearts and minds of people. So that's the most important thing out of anything.
Our Versations is an original because I've never heard of any other podcasters while they're driving home making a fucking show. That's amazing, bro. I've done it at a parking station. I've done it at parking lots. I've stopped and just recorded because I need to, like, because my signal's fucking weak and shit. But like, I've never done it while driving. That's legendary. Everybody, make sure you check him out at Oregon-Ite, Oregon/ite.com. And you could also find him on paranoidradio.com under special guests and links. This is the second episode with Oregon-Ite. Isaac, God bless you. God bless your family. May your life be forever provide with blessings of love, wealth, and health for you and yours. God, thank you again for being on the show, bro. And ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to drop a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. It allows other people to enjoy the show as much as I enjoy making it. Peace out. Hey, that was probably the fastest podcast show I've ever done. That was fun.
Paranoid Radio.